Hey guys, Rick Ginn, and today I am actually going to go over how I lost $7 million in wholesaling real estate. And this is when you definitely want to tune in because it's the actual truth. And you're thinking like, how can you lose $7 million in wholesaling? Well, we're going to have to back the entire story up, and I want to go through it from the start. So if I jump back in time, you've got to understand the opportunity cost in wholesaling. A lot of you are watching this video right now like, I'm a little bit nervous about starting wholesaling. I'm not sure if that's what I want to do. And to be honest with you, I've always thought about real estate, but I let the better half of me take over, meaning I didn't understand how to do it. I let fear take over. And honestly, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I lost $7 million in wholesaling. And this is one you want to pay attention to. In just a little while, I'll put a link for anyone who wants to jump on and do a one-on-one, and we'll hop on. So let's jump into it. Let's just skip right into it. So my first way was honestly, I literally started out all the way from like my honestly, from my freshman year in high school, I was constantly told to go seek a good career and get a good job and get a good opportunity. And honestly, I just let everybody else steer me and make that decision for me. I was never ever meant for that path. And I don't even know how I wound up in it. But what I'm telling you is, if you go all the way back from when I was 17, 18, I was destined to do this. But I let everybody else run my ship. Tell me what I need to do. And honestly, if you're in that boat, if you're 17, 18, or you're 38, 48, 58, 68, I don't care. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to look you right in this camera and tell you right now that you have to run your own ship. If you let everybody else tell you what you need to make you happy, to make you financially free, and most important, freedom of your time, your boat's going to sink. I'm living proof of it. I let it sink. This is mistake number one. I'm going to build it up and add the math for you, because this didn't just go down in one deal, guys. This is probably about a 15-year collapse of the $7 million, and I'll walk you through the math on it. You don't believe me? I promise you. If you are looking into wholesaling, but you're sitting on the sideline like waiting for the perfect opportunity, you're going to lose a lot more than $7 million, which is my number, which I mathematically figured out when I've been thinking about this. And honestly, I've thought about this years, and I put it down on paper. So number one, seeking a job and career was my first step in losing a crap load of money, and I want to walk you through it. Next one, I was always told to plan for my retirement. Well, guys, right now I'm shooting this video live somewhere in Germany. If you look behind me, I'm on a boat moving down the Rhine River, and I'm with my entire family. I brought them all along, and we're basically on a 3.5-week journey and just living our best lives and still running multiple wholesaling operations, able to connect with you guys and help people all over the world in wholesaling. It didn't start out like that, I promise you. So, but if I took the plan that I'm about to show you right now, which is retirement, I could have never done it, ever. Because retirement, in my opinion, yes, you have to set money aside to grow and invest. You never save money. You have to grow and invest it. So if my signal's a little bit choppy, it's just I'm on a Starlink and doing the best I can with it. So, and I do these lives because I actually enjoy it. I don't do it out of obligation. I just enjoy it. I'm on vacation with the people that are nearest and dearest to me. I'm still here shooting a video close to midnight because I'm on about a 6-7 hour time difference. And if you guys saw Zach last night, he was doing it at 4 a.m. in the morning. So he's a little bit more powerful than me. But retirement, job, career, if you hear words like this, you've got to understand that's going to cost you a lot of money. The next one, 401k. I can tell you, if all you talk about is 401k and what your employer's going to contribute to it, what you're going to contribute to it, it's going to sink you. I'm telling you, the 401k is not a perk. Number one, it's your money. Your corporation gives a small percentage toward it. And if you buy into the entire 401k thing, I'm telling you, it's going to be problematic for you. So if you hear keywords like this, once again, job, career, retirement, 401k, you are going to fall into the $7 million trap. Don't believe me? Let me walk you through. Let me ask you this. What do you think is the number one thing that keeps people committed to their employers? You want to know what it is? A lot of people think it's pay. Don't get me wrong, pay is important. A lot of people think it's the fulfillment of the job and helping solve problems. Here's the number one reason why people do it. Ready? I know it's lagging, guys. Just hang in there. So, here's the number one. Health benefits. You guys are all committed and like loyal to an employer that provides you health benefits. I've literally told people like I can't afford to lose my health benefits. Now, don't get me wrong. If you have a medical condition or anything like that, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the pure financial aspect of how health benefits work. So many people go, well, I get health benefits and 401k. Number one, 401k is your money. And honestly, if you worked for your own corporation, you could actually use this as a ginormous loophole to double your investment into yourself, your family, and your own company. But health benefits are the number one way. So I'm going to walk you through in detail in today's video, and I'm going to show you why health benefits are one of the worst decisions, why you stay with an employer, and why it's going to cost you so much money. The next one, which is a big killer, I went to college. I'm not saying don't go to college, but if you're truly committed to wholesaling and you want to start out, and especially if you're young, you're going to have to make a decision. Is college going to help you be a better wholesaler? I already know the answer to that. I've done plenty of videos on it. I've gone in grave detail with you on it, and you got to understand, college is not going to help you in that aspect, and you've got to understand that. So the next one is, one of the things that cost me part of the $7 million, which I'm getting ready to get to the math part of it, who you take financial advice from. So whoever you take financial advice from is going to drastically affect your net worth, how much money you make, and everything that's going to cost you in your business. So here's who I took it from, and this is going to be part of my $7 million loss. Number one, the reality is I took financial advice from my parents. Now, to be honest with you, my parents did what they could at the time. I was brought up in a different era, and my mom took great care of me, but my father never really taught me anything financially. So let me plug this in. Got it. Okay. My parents, and a lot of you have taken all your financial directives from your parents, and I'm just telling you that one alone is challenging. And this one's particularly a struggle for a lot of the young people that watch this, because a lot of you live under your parents' roof and stuff. Just do an audit and see if your parents are where they truly want to be, if they live the life they want and they're truly happy. If they are and you want to go that direction, knock yourself out. But if everything's a struggle, there's a lot of fights over money, and it always seems to perpetuate in your family, this is your time if you want to truly free it up. I will tell you, I got stuck in this cycle because I was told to do a certain thing. I was scared to ever question it. And because I didn't question it, it put me in a tough position. And I followed the financial advice of my parents, which, let's just be honest, they just didn't have a lot of money. And they just wanted to keep me safe. So that's number one. The next one is, if you take financial advice from your friends. Let's face it, most of your friends you grew up with, the ones you grew up with in your neighborhood and stuff like that, they're literally broke. Let's be honest. They don't have a lot of money. They have different goals in what you want to do. And if you're looking into wholesaling and you're taking advice from your family, you're taking it from your friends, your parents, you're going to be in the exact same boat with them. So if you're in a tiny little house and there's never any money for a vacation. There's never money set aside for you, and they can't just fix things when it comes to health, or when someone needs money to fix a car or replace a car. Then you got to ask yourself, why am I taking advice from this person? And once you understand that, you'll understand who you start taking your advice. Honestly, my parents and my friends were probably one of the two biggest kickers to do it. The third one is what most of you are guilty watching this live right now, and you're taking financial advice from the internet. And I'm here to tell you, taking financial advice from the internet is a horrible decision. You have no idea who you're getting your advice from. Those of you seeking financial advice, particularly in regards to wholesaling, you're getting nothing. You might be getting a 12-year-old kid sitting behind a keyboard just messing with you, and you let it affect your decision making, and because of that, it's going to put you in a huge financial hole, and you've got to understand that. So if you're taking financial advice from your parents, your friends, or the internet, you're literally losing millions of dollars, because the opportunity loss is going to be terrible, and you've got to understand that. The next one I put on there, when you're seeking acceptance from others. If you're constantly looking for someone to endorse what you're doing, particularly wholesaling, you are going to get shocked, because most people don't understand what you're doing. They think it's somewhat of a scam, and because you're not doing what everyone else is doing, your family, your friends, your colleagues, you are the outcast. And if you are the outcast, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to get outside acceptance. And if you're like me when I was younger, I always seeked outside acceptance, and that is a pitfall. That will cost you millions and millions of dollars, because guess what? In wholesaling, you're just not going to get it. I guarantee you're not going to get it. So if you're seeking it and you've been raised that way by your environment, your family, your friends, this part right here on the screen I'm giving to you right now, it's literally going to take you out. So if you're constantly seeking acceptance from third parties, from family, from friends, and you're getting advice, getting a wholesaling, you're not going to get it. So are you okay not getting acceptance from family, friends, and everybody around you if you go into wholesaling? If your answer is, I understand I'm not going to get it, then go for it. But if you're one of these people that has to get acceptance, you got a choice. You're either going to have to ignore them and go the opposite way, or you're going to have to find a way to filter these people completely out when it comes to wholesaling. It doesn't mean you ignore them as family members or anything like that, but remember, you're doing what most people would never even consider doing it. You're going to take a risk, you're going to make a sacrifice so you can become financially free and get freedom of your time, which is the most important part you need to do. So if you understand that, the next one, and this is a big one, guys. If you're constantly using the word savings, it's going to be tough. Now listen, when you're young, you have to save money just to get out from your parents' house and to do things. But if you're constantly saving money, most people save money for one of two things. Either they save it towards their future retirement, which we're going to get into that in a moment, or they're saving to buy what they think is an asset, which is actually a liability, a car, a boat, a house, any of that. Because when they do that, the savings is never going to get you financially free. It's not going to get you freedom of your time, and it's not going to work. You're just setting money aside, and 95% of the people that save money actually lose 7 to 9% just to inflation alone. So when you save money, you're actually working for it. You have to shift your mindset and go from savings to buying assets and actually investing things that don't require you to be there, and constantly crushes the rate of inflation. Because if you don't, savings is just a mental thing. It's a number in a bank account, but the dollar's going down, your savings going up, you're actually making little headway by savings. And if all you do is talk about savings, I promise you, you're going to lose millions, especially while you're young, because you guys have the compounding effect of interest. And if you don't start young and you save instead of invest, it is a complete different mindset, and it's going to be tough. So I told you I talked about the numbers. So let's go through the numbers, how we can get a $7 million loss, because I know you guys are thinking, these numbers are crazy. There's no way they add up, Rick. Let me walk you through it real quick. Number one, remember we talked about health benefits. Let me pop it back up here. A lot of you guys stick for your health benefits. And don't get me wrong, it's nice when you had a job. When I had a job, I had health benefits. And all we did was talk about it. Like, oh my God, I get health benefits. Everybody talks about health benefits. Let me show what you're giving up for your health benefits. I was like, oh my God, I get a salary plus health benefits. Okay, so what are you truly sticking around if you, a lot of people say, I'm just sticking around for the benefits. The 401k is not really a benefit. It's mostly your money and you get a small contribution from your employer. And I've done other videos where I can show you how you can use a 401k for your own company, but I'm not here to talk about that today. So let's talk about health benefits. The average health benefits for a corporation is around $600 a month. It's actually gone up with the cost of inflation. So let's do 600, 12 months, that's $7,200 a year. So let me get this straight. I did this too. I'm willing to trade $7,200 to stick with an employer that is going to limit my income, not allow me to get financially free, and most importantly, freedom on my time to work at a 40 to 80 hour a week job for $7,200. Guys, do the math on this real quick. $7,200 is half of a average wholesale deal. So all you got to do is just get one more extra deal and all your health benefits are taken care of, you and your family, for the entire year. Now, some of you are going to be more, some of you are less. I did the national average on it. And when you talk about health benefits, you're loyal to a company for $7,200. Honestly, I worked for the same company for almost 12 years. I thought this thing was huge. When you put it on paper and see how little money it is, you can go out and buy your own health plan. Guys, I'm not getting into like health coverages and stuff like that. I get it. Some people have existing conditions. I'm just saying, for the most part, a lot of people watching the stream, you're young. Please don't commit to an employer and give up the dream of wholesaling because they gave you health benefits. It's $7,200. You can take this down in like half a deal. End of story. Do the math. This alone cost me over $1 million because I committed to a company because they gave me health benefits. Put a number on it. It's $7,200. Go out, find a deal, and replace it, and then you're never locked in to work for one employer for the rest of your life because now you have options when you do it. The next one, let's walk through the math. I did this conservatively. I took the national statistics, which I think is BS, but for a 4-year college degree. You ready for this? The national average in the United States as of this year is $105,000. That is just tuition, guys, tuition alone. And that's an average of an in-state college. Obviously, a lot of you can multiply this by 4 if you're going to expensive schools, out of state, stuff like that. And keep in mind, this is just tuition. We didn't go over room, board, any of that stuff. We're going to go over it. So do the math. $105,000 out the window for 4 years of your life. That is a negative return, and most of people will agree it is substantially more than $105,000. Any of you that have kids out there, you understand this. Now let's walk through this. Say I skipped college. I want to be a full-time wholesaler. Let me walk you through the math of what I would have done if I could go back in time, and I'll show you where the $7 million adds up. Year number 1, if you really apply yourself and get going, and say you stumble through wholesaling, it's hard to make, in my opinion, less than $60,000 a year. Figuring your first half of your year, you're just figuring out wholesaling, and then you kind of take off. That's how most people work in wholesaling. It's an average, guys. Some of you guys blow up in your first month, some take a few months. But let's say you stumble through the first 6 or 9 months, and then you put 4 or 5 deals together and you make $60K. That is your college, that is your education, that is your lesson in life, and that's how it works. But more importantly, you learn the skill sets of wholesaling. And by the way, if you want to learn how to get started in wholesaling, go over to freewholesaling.com. Me and Zach put a course together, and we start you from start to finish on how to get your first deal and how to get to your first $100,000. That is the first and foremost thing you need to do. That is your education. And the cool thing is, it's not going to cost you 105 grand, and it's definitely not going to take you 4 years. People always ask, what's the time? Honestly, 3 to 9 months is going to be the average, somewhere in there. Here's the difference: is you have to do the work, because wholesaling doesn't care what your education level is, what your income level is, what your background is. It only cares how hard you're going to work. So if you take that education with over 28 years combined experience between us, and you apply yourself, there's no way that you can screw this up if you don't do the work. So, $60K the first year. That's a struggling year as wholesaling, but honestly, it's an accurate depiction. The next year, easily make 6 figures. It's pretty much a guarantee on that if you're working the business and you're putting in the work every day. This is the part where you're still grinding, but you're finally getting some, I call residual value, from all the lessons you've learned through wholesaling. 100K, you've gone from 60 to 100. You've already done the math. We're at 160K, right? Going to year number 3. And by this, as you've completely figured out wholesaling, you've gotten through all your life lessons, and now you're easily making 250K a year. Guys, this is my pattern. I started out much quicker in this. I'm just giving you averages on it. And once you understand that, it's easy to do. Let me jump back in where I left off on that. So we're going through the math on how we got this. And I got you through year number 3 at 250K. At year 3, this is a no-brainer number. Honestly, this is an extremely conservative number. I think it'd be a lot more, but I'm just giving you the math on it. By year 4 in wholesaling, 400K. It is not hard to do. I do it all the time. I've taught a ton of people how to do this, and I've been doing this 21 years. Year 4 is easy to do for 400K, and once again, it is, in my opinion, a very, very conservative number. So let's do the math on this real quick. If we take in consideration all the 4 years I just added up, and you know college cost you 105 grand. I want you to understand this. If we do the math on this, if I were to skip college and gone right into wholesaling, and keep in mind, I probably could have done a lot more damage back in the 90s doing wholesaling than I could have done in 2024. A conservative, just raw number on the numbers I just gave you, if I put the 105 grand back, because that's going to be money taken out. I know some of you guys will say, well, my parents are going to pay for it. Well, your parents shouldn't pay for everything. I added up all 4 years conservatively. It's a difference of $915,000, almost $1 million. Now, let's be realistic. Once we add room, board, books, some basic travel, gas, car, whatever, it's $1 million right off the bat, just in 4 years of college. And most of people go through college, come out 4 years, and what do they look? They look for a job and a career. And I want you to understand this. Guys, think about this. I took an entire, let me put it right here, decade, and committed to the job and the career, because I got a 401k and I got health benefits. Now you're thinking, to go, Rick, where the heck's the other $6 million? Guys, a decade. I just went through the first 4 years, and by this time, I'm already hitting $1 million. So 6 more years, $6 million plus the first year in college. But honestly, most of that $7 million is because I waited too long to start. And if you can get the message here today, I want you to understand, if you wait and you're sitting on the sidelines and you're stuck and you're trying to figure out what to do, the waiting is what's going to kill you. I get it. You're scared. You're uncomfortable. You don't know what to do. Go over to freewholesaling.com. Get yourself educated. But you're going to have to roll your sleeves up, and you are going to have to take action. And the sooner you do it, the less money you're going to lose. I don't want you sitting around like me at $7 million going, what the heck happened? Guys, these are real numbers. And if you don't believe me, I just ran you through the entire thing. And I want you to understand this. Most of you that are out there looking for jobs and looking for that safe career, that most of your parents are driving you towards and stuff like that, well, let's talk about it. What do you think AI is going to do to most of these jobs going forward? It's not going to happen overnight. I can tell you, for your waiter or waitress, I believe in 10 to 15 years, they're all going to be gone. Guys, I'm over here in Europe and there's machines serving everybody. I see robots going down the hallway. It's coming up more and more. Coffee is served by a machine. Alcohol served by machines. They scan IDs. I'm telling you guys, that's just one. What do you think is going to happen with teachers? Like, I love teachers to death. But the reality is most teachers are going to be replaced by automations between computers and everything else. It's going to go to virtual learning. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. I can't name a job that's not going to be affected by AI. And so what I'm trying to get the point to you today is you've got to take ownership and you got to start looking towards the future, especially if you're young, even if you're old, is if you go for a job or a career, most likely, unless you create your own, you're going to be at massive risk. And thank God I found wholesaling, and I didn't find it until 33. It changed my life. And I'm here to tell you is the reason why I'm sitting in front of you. If you look behind me, those blurry lights, I'm going down a river in Europe because I made a sacrifice a long time ago. And I decided, I tried the career and the job thing. I can tell you right now, I know exactly how it worked out. It was just 12 years of misery for me. It got to the point so bad, I just didn't care. I decided to take the risk. I was scared to death. I was going to lose my bi-weekly paycheck, and I just dove in the wholesaling. And guys, I sucked when I started at it. I was really bad. But I persevered, I stuck to it, and here I am 21 years later having a conversation with you on telling you why it's still wonderful today. I know there's a lot of stuff you guys see out there of, oh, is wholesaling, is it illegal? They're going to outlaw? No, it's not. It's just, it's scare tactics made to make you like fear of why you're doing it. I was told this back in 2003, and here I am 21 years later, and the same tactics are being used. Guys, you have to run your own ship, just like I said in the beginning of this video, and you have to do it. So if we know AI is replacing most jobs and careers, let's just admit the next thing. The middle class is just about been eliminated, especially if you're young, if you're aspiring to be in the middle class. And guys, here's the middle class. You have the super rich and wealthy people up here, which is where we want to bring in wholesaling. And then you have people just barely getting by or probably not getting by. And then you have this thing called the middle class. That was called the safe zone. I'm telling you right now, if you're young right now and you're looking for a job or career, there is no more middle class. The middle class is being pressed out. Either you have money or you're below you're at some sort of poverty line, because the cost to buy things these days has gone up so drastically. You guys know this when you go to the grocery store. It's absolutely terrible. It sucks. And I'm telling you, if I was young trying to get a job or a career right now, I would be very, very nervous. Now, I had a few more opportunities when I was younger because things were a lot cheaper, but I'm glad I made a decision because I would be close to retirement and I wouldn't have enough money to retire. I probably wind up working until I'm like 68, 69. And to me, you got to make a decision. Here's the reality, guys. You have a choice. You have a choice watching this video. Everything I've told you, I've already told you I lost $7 million screwing around with a job and a career. I gave up all my time. I gave up early mornings. I gave up nights. I gave up weekends a lot. And what I have to show for it, they replaced me instantly. Now, I fired my boss. I didn't wait for him to fire me. And I want to give you that opportunity if you're stuck in one of those miserable jobs. Let's face it, 70% of Americans are absolutely miserable in their work environment, who they work for and what they do for a living. And if you're in that position, that's why you're probably looking at me like, who's this guy talking about wholesaling? He's a little bit nuts. It's because I've lived it. I know exactly what I'm talking about. So you have a choice. And you have two choices you can make going forward. It's completely up to you. What do you want to do with those choices? It's simple. Number one, you can work on your retirement plan. Retirement's when you bust your butt for 30 or 40 years for one company or a few companies in the same industry, and you pray to God there's enough money in that 401k just to get you by so you can get Social Security, which most likely won't be there when you go to get it, by the way, because they're completely upside down. And then you can live your best life in your late 60s. Let's face it, what are you going to do in your 60s? Why can't you do it in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s? Retirement is the safe bet. It is conservative. It's not going to make you happy. It's not going to make you free, but you won't be poor. That's not a dream to me. That sounds like a nightmare. And I always knew it going up front, but I'm here to tell you guys, you can do that route. It's completely up to you. Or you can decide to make the sacrifice now. If you'll put in the hard work up front, you can live life almost every day like it's on a vacation. People that think about jobs, careers, and retirement, they think about their 1 or 2 weeks vacation, and that's what they live for their entire life. If you can make the sacrifice in wholesaling, or honestly any other industry where you can get complete financial freedom, think about this. Wholesaling's already proven. It's been around a long time. I've already proved the 21 years, and I'm still doing it today, is I get to do what I want when I want. So those of you just like tuning in, I'm on a 6-hour time difference. I'm traveling down a European river. This is why it's lagging a little bit, but like I get to do what I want whenever I want. I run my business from 4,000 miles away, and I spend time with my kids. You guys know my son, my wife, the entire family while I'm gone. Now, most people could not get away for this long and do it, but the advent of technology and how wholesaling works virtually and the infrastructure I've built with all my employees and everything, I can get this done. I didn't do it overnight. I had to make massive sacrifices. And if you guys will make the sacrifices, you can do the same. But here's the thing is, most people say they want to make a sacrifice, but do you really want to do it? Are you willing to work for 25, 30, 40 years and then get the life you so-called want? And let's face it, most people in retirement, they're on extreme budgets. Most people don't take care of themselves because they work so hard for their boss, and they don't really get to enjoy retirement. Most people struggle when they get in retirement. If you do wholesaling correct, you never have to retire because you can do deals right up to the day you die. Whatever you want to do, because it only requires your mind and it requires a skill set. If you want to learn how to do that skill set, go over to freewholesaling.com, show you exactly how to do it step by step. Guys, the choice is yours. You have a choice. I'm going to give it to you one more time, and then we're going to jump in and take some questions here. So if you have a question, put it in the comments section. You have a choice. It's retirement or make a sacrifice. Which do you want to do? One's a safe play, but it ain't going to make you free. You're going to have to work for someone 25, 30 years to get there. Or you can put in a couple years in wholesaling, learn the trade, understand it. Why don't you pretend like this? Go over to freewholesaling.com with me and Zach. 100% free. I'm not going to charge you $105,000, but you're going to have to do the work. Consider it your college. We are the trade school of wholesaling. That's it. We are the college of wholesaling. Now, I don't coin myself as a guru or anything like that. I just practice what I preach. I practice what I do. I don't know anybody else that gives all their stuff away for free. And that's what we do at freewholesaling.com. I'm going to go ahead and pop it up here and put it up for you guys so you know exactly where to go. Where did I put it? Let's go here. So if you are new to this channel, or you want to just get restarted, or you got behind in wholesaling, do me a favor, just go over to freewholesaling.com. I popped the course on the bottom. Check it out. We're doing this almost about 4 years right now. We keep adding to it. We are the only people out there that give you everything you need for freewholesaling.com to learn wholesaling. I'm tired of other people charging tens of thousands of dollars to learn such a simple trait. You've got to master wholesaling first to learn how to get freedom. The reason I got into wholesaling, I always remind everyone, why did I get into this? Because I worked for the same company for almost 12 years, and I just wanted freedom of my time. The money came with it. After I provided enough value and helped out enough people, the money came with it. And if you understand that, you'll learn it. The first year is not the easiest, but guys, think about the first time you crawled. You were terrible at it, but you didn't give up on yourself. Your parents didn't give up on you. You kept going. So I don't care if you're 17, 18, 38, 28, 48, 68, 78. Don't give up on it. You have to persevere. And that's going to be the key to doing it. So you've got to understand that's the key to doing this.